to Concerning Pipers, the show concerning all things pipes and tobacco. I'm Mike.
And I'm Anthony.
What's up, Anthony? How are you tonight? I'm glad you could be here with me.
Me too, bud.
Yeah. What are you smoking on?
I am smoking Ruins of Wismer, Country Squire, the geniuses over there, Quinn and John David Cole. Great job.
Right on. Okay. So that is Ruins of Windsor from the Country Squire Online.com. They're a local tobacconist of Jackson, Mississippi. They make artisan blends as well, home blends, and they have a bunch of pipes and other 10 tobaccos for sale on their website. So be sure to check them out. Tell them Concerning Pipers sent you. So anyway, let's get into it. Anthony, you're here in a capacity of a artisanal blender and the perfect candidate for the third part of my Nick Chainsmoker Challenge series. Nick challenged me to, talk about different tobacco blends and their components and what makes each blend different. And let's dive in. If you want to take over and just break them down into what makes what's happen, and I'll let you kind of take the reins while I sit and enjoy my Bill Shalowski.
Oh no, please ask the questions.
Okay, so you want me to ask you the questions? Okay.
Yeah.
So you want me? Okay, well, all right, we'll do it that way. So obviously this is not rehearsed. It's just kind of spot interview here. All right, so we'll break it down like this. Let's talk about my favorite, vapors. What is a vapor, and how does that work? Go ahead.
Typically, vapors are Virginia Periques. That's the abbreviation. Whether it's straight bright Virginias, straight red Virginias with Perique, or a mix with maybe even stove Virginias. But then again, there's blends like Hall the Wind that I consider a vapor that has a little bit of Kentucky in it. So it all just depends. But typically, it's Virginia Perique.
So is it really that simple? Just Virginia and Perique? Okay, well, right on. There's also, you have your straight Virginia blends like this one I have here in front of me. This is a Sunset from Hue Tobacco, and it's a straight Virginia. There's Opening Night from Cornell and Deal, Yorktown from Cornell and Deal. Orlick Golden Slice, they say it has Perique in it. I think it's more of a straight Virginia. There's Newminster 400. We could go on and on, right? So
Outlet Virginia slices.
So yeah, we could go on and on. So what a straight Virginia, what does that look like?
Like you said, straight Virginia is straight Virginia, whether it's bright, red. Okay. Some of the if you want to compare and talk about like what you can buy, good straight Virginias. Like I said, Sutler Virginia slice is probably the best just to try because it's inexpensive. I wouldn't say it's cheap because it is very high quality. I highly recommend trying that for your first.
So a little deeper into Virginias, do the nuances of red Virginia, stove Virginia, bright Virginia, how do they differ, compare? What are they? I mean, what does a red Virginia provide a straight red Virginia blend versus a bright Virginia straight blend?
Well, it all goes back to the growth of the plant. So red Virginia is going to be in the mid to higher level of the plant with more sun. The more sun that tobacco plant gets, the more lamina, the more thickness it gets, and more sugar content. The less sugar content, the more nicotine. The lower the plant, the sweeter, less nicotine. Also thinner leaves. So with the brighter Virginias, you're going to get the sweeter hay notes. Sometimes citrus. With the red Virginias, you're going to get sometimes a cocoa even, or a maybe a vinegar, or a tangy, a more robust flavor. Also slightly stronger nicotine. And then there's, of course, the process of the stove Virginia.
Okay. Yeah. And so, what does stoving mean for a Virginia? Like how do you get stove to Virginia?
So stowed Virginia is pretty much Cavendish process without the steam. So for like home blending, you can simply put it in a tin can or like a coin jar that you would have for that would come in pipe tobacco, and put it in the stove for, let's say, 200 degrees for 2 to 4 hours. You can produce stove Virginia that way.
And does that accelerate the aging of the?
It accelerates the aging. It brings brings out the sugars, almost caramelizing it, turning it to a darker color.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's talk about aromatics. What constitutes an aromatic pipe tobacco, and dive into that.
Well, again, I can only speak for myself, but really it's a top dressing. But I know for myself, I do some top dressings and blends that you couldn't really taste. It's just for it's just to bring out the flavors of other tobaccos, whether it be rosewater or what. But so typically for like an aromatic would be, something like Scotty's Butternut Burley or Lane 1Q or, Autumn Evening or Cold Blooded Red Moon with that cherry, confectionery, sweet, whether it be fruit flavors or an artificial topping.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I hate the word additives because it's all natural, but
okay. So, take a blend like Muletown mixture. When you and I were at Muletown together and we watched Jeremy Reeves put that honey marshmallow topping on the tobacco, but it wasn't, a typical aromatic tobacco, as you would say. So, you could argue that any blend with added flavors is an aromatic, but so, would you consider that blend an aromatic pipe tobacco, even though it doesn't taste one?
So my answer is pretty challenging, and it's all aromatic to me. We wouldn't smoke it if it wasn't aromatic, right? It all depends on what kind of aromatic you're talking about. If you're talking about the old school OTC, burley blends or the confectionery sweet goopy aromatics, or if you're talking about the Danish style aromatics that are lightly cased and lightly topped, or stuff like Windjammer that I love. It's a vapor, but it's a topped vapor. Is that an aromatic? You can clearly taste the rum in that.
Yeah.
But it's so good with the Freak. Freak and rum bounce off each other so well. And so does Red Virginia. Red Virginia plays, and as someone that blends tobacco, you look at a lot of these tobaccos, say like Red Virginia, that have that tang. And, what is that tang going to go good with? That could go good with alcohol. That'd be good, really good with maybe a tequila or a rum,
Okay. So, yeah, you mentioned Windjammer. In my opinion, I think, Windjammer is a Navy blend. When you've got, you're looking at, we could talk for hours about stuff, but it's just to keep it short, when they add rum into the tobacco, and that typically is what blenders call Navy blends. So you've got Speakeasy from Cornell and Deal, Black Frigate, Blockade Runner,
rum and pressure, rum and like a flake, because it was all most things tobacco related, such as Kentucky. Kentucky was found by people hiding their tobacco from the engines and hanging it on their ceilings while they cooked, and they realized after a while it became smoky flavor. It's the same thing where we're talking about. That was an accident, that they came up with. They came up with that.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So moving right along, we need to kind of keep the trade on track here. Let's dive into, English blend. What constitute an English blend for you?
Typically, Virginia's, it goes in this order for me: Virginia's, Orientals, Latakia. Usually medium to mild to medium on the Latakia.
Okay. And what is, we could go in a little bit depth. I think we were good on time. Let's talk a little bit about, what is Latakia?
Latakia is a smoke cured tobacco. Basically, aromatic wood is smoked, is set on fire under the tobacco, which is smoked, and it is cured that way. Gives it off a leathery, peaty note.
Okay, on leathery and peaty. Awesome. Well,
Smoky, campfire.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that dives out the basis, that carves out the basis of the different really mainstay blends of pipe tobacco. And like I said, we could talk for hours about the nuances and the differences between the thousands of blends out there. But let's wrap this up, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. There's new pipe smokers that are attracted to the hobby, and they get overwhelmed by all the different blends that they can get on online retailers, brick and mortars, and it's nothing like it used to be, right? But it still is. You got your boutique blends from Cornell and Deal, and I mean, what would you say is your let's narrow it down to your top 3 all-time blends you can smoke every day, no matter what.
That aren't mine.
Right, that aren't yours. We're gonna get to that.
Okay. Let's start with you. You go first.
Okay. Number 1 for me is Penny Farthing by GLPs. If you're a new pipe smoker and interested in Penny Farthing, I recommend sipping it slow because it is a little bitey, but it's a shag cut, so it's easy to pack, easy to light, and it's a great blend to break a pipe in with, just because of the way it burns, smooth and down to fine white ash every time. But that it tends to burn hot, so pack it tight and smoke it slow. It's a ton of nuanced flavors. It's delicious. Second would probably be Chelsea Morning from GLPs. Again, I picked that up as my first tobacco blend I ever smoked, and it just holds a soft place in my heart. I love that blend so much. And then thirdly is one from Cornell and Deal. It is Bayou Morning Flake. It is a Virginia Perique mixture with 25% Perique, and it is a knockout champ. Strong as bull, and it's just delicious every time. So ages phenomenally as well. So
okay. All right. I can do this.
I could.
So certainly, I hate to go in order, but anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Solani aged Burley Flake. So that's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Man, the second one for me, I've been saying Rivendell by the Country Squire for a long time, and it's still there. It still holds a special place in my heart. I love that stuff. It's a very nice. It's an aromatic, but you can taste all the nuances in the tobacco. You taste the Virginias. It's very clean, very dry, very cool smoke. Good stuff. Highly recommend for the new pipe smoker.
Okay.
For 3, I said Solani aged Burley Flake. Oh, I didn't even get into detail of that. I mean, that was a religious experience. The first time I smoked, it was a religious experience.
It's hard for the favorite for many. hard to
Just
find.
a bold, solid smoke from beginning to end. It's simple but delicious, and just good and bold and great. Man, the last one's hard for me. It's certainly going to be a vapor. Got to have a vapor in there. Probably is going to have to be Hall to Win for me.
Okay.
Bold, spicy. A good all day though, not too much. And I love everything Rattrays does. Kohlhaas and Kopp is just an amazing blending house.
So for those watching at home, fair warning, that is a strong blend as well. Anthony and I are very highly addicted to nicotine and Perique. So I wouldn't smoke that on an empty stomach. Make sure you're sitting down. That's for sure. But good stuff, man. Let's wrap this up. So for those of you guys who don't know Anthony, he's an artisanal blender. I think we talked about that in the beginning. He makes, his blends that he sells on the, Instagram. And if you're interested in picking up anything from him, he's got a menu that's posted on his page. He makes some awesome stuff. Definitely need to check out AJ's Finest when it's available. Appalachian Sunrise, Chesapeake Red are some of my favorites. So be sure to, AJ's Finest has been hailed by others as the comparable to a Scudo, which is I think that's a good ballpark recommendation there for you guys. Anthony, I appreciate you coming on in and chat with me. And I know this was short-lived, but we've got to keep it, short and sweet here. But anyway, thanks for checking out the Concerning Pipers show, and we'll see you guys next time.